Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I told you many things actually, but this in particular, and that is General Valery Zaluzhny has been activated or reactivated. By whom? I think by MI6. Why? He's back in business. He's making all kind of statements. He's getting ready for elections. And Putin's secret stash is gold. But why? Why? Well, Putin is buying gold like crazy. Gold for 1 ounce passed the $4,000 per ounce a long time ago. I will show you a chart. Nobody prevents the Americans to buy gold, or the Germans or French, but they're broke. That's why they can't buy gold. They are into speculating on the stock market. The other guys are, by convention, using gold. Then we find out why Mr. Zaluzhny is back in business. Let me start with the first article where Mr. Zaluzhny wants crazy nuclear weapons deployed in Ukraine and NATO guarantees. I don't know under what kind of rock that guy lived for the past, 30 years or so. But that's a no-no. And besides, I think this is just to galvanize the discussion about peace prospects. What do you mean you want nuclear weapons in Ukraine? That's one of the reasons, and NATO in Ukraine. That's one of the reasons why the Russians are over there as we speak. All right, let me show you what this agent, I think he's an MI6. I think he's the English agent. He's not the Americans. Agent. Oh yeah, let me show you. When you see someone featured all of a sudden with all kind of op ads with all kind of things, these guys are pushing him, open doors for him, making him more visible. So you like him. Why? So when he's gonna be your boss, your president, you say, yeah, I like this guy. Why? I don't know, he's a nice guy. All right, let me show you. Ex-Ukrainian Army chief wants nukes. Nothing new there. Did you think that? Will they get nukes? Never. Unless they will do it like Pakistan and India did it. Or Mr. Kim Jong-un. Not his, but his father. Deploying foreign weapons of mass destruction and joining NATO could serve as security guarantees for Ukraine. Remember, this guy is the so-called Ukrainian ambassador to England. They say Great Britain. To England. He's kept over there so his neck doesn't part with the body. That's why he's over there. And now he's activated. He comes saying that we want weapons of mass destruction and join NATO. Why? Because these guys are about to break a deal, to make a deal. So this guy says, no, we want that as security guarantees. Nobody asks you anything, Mr. Ambassador. You're one. Whoa. Let's go back a little bit. Why do we hear about this ambassador in a country called England? Why not the ambassador, the Ukrainian ambassador to France, or to Bangladesh, or to Zimbabwe, or to China? Why exactly this guy? Why? Because he was involved in a war? First, how do you give up, if you are really in charge of the military, you give up that position of real power. You send those guys in Kiev, you're the new boss. Clear? Clear. But you say, okay, all right, here's my pistol, click, there it is, chum bong, empty, I'm going, man. Now you can shoot me wherever you want. Before, supposedly you couldn't because I have a whole army and I was in charge of it, all right? But he didn't start a coup d'etat or anything, no insurrection. He just walked away like a nice guy that he is, and he went to London for safekeeping. And now he comes and tells us that Ukraine needs nukes and NATO? I had no problem with Zaluzhny much, but now I think he's doing what he's supposed to, which is he's activated. Only joining NATO, hosting nuclear weapons, or accepting a major foreign military force can truly guarantee Ukraine's security, Zaluzhny said. You know, Russia invaded Ukraine unprovoked, right? On the 24th of February 2022. Remember? Okay. Unprovoked, and with no justification. But the Russians have a long list of justification somehow. The problem is these guys do not want to hear it. And one of the main thing over there is NATO presence in Ukraine. Let alone weapons of mass destruction. That's even not even think of. Like, for instance, I never thought I would walk in Manhattan, New York City. Never thought. I thought I would be setting my foot on the moon before I would set my foot in Manhattan. But hey, maybe the same here. No NATO, but maybe they're going to have nuclear weapons. The Russians said Ukraine will have no military. Let alone NATO. No NATO was, and this guy says, what, NATO, security guarantees, plus nuclear weapons. That means the Russians lost? Are they losing? Go and check a map. All right, so Zaluzhny was activated, I think. And you're going to hear more and more about this guy. Next, Zaluzhny, again Zaluzhny. Now, the first one was from the Russians, all right? And the second one, because he wrote this somewhere, where did he write it? On the Telegraph. So he was featured by the Brits. That means Zelensky is going to go away. Well, you'll see. We'll see. All right, let's go to the next one. This is coming from New Voice of Ukraine. Zaluzhny, the same guy, warns of Russia's potential decisive strike in its war strategy. Why are you talking? You're just an ambassador to another country. I want to hear what the Ukrainian ambassador to Bucharest, Romania, has to say about the war. I don't want to hear Zaluzhny. Why should I listen to Zaluzhny? Bye. You're an ambassador. You're nothing. Just over there. You're a civilian. See you never. You have the same expertise as the ambassador to Bucharest or to Bangladesh or wherever you want to go. In my, humility. Okay, let's go to the third article. New Voice of Ukraine. Russia's war in Ukraine shows global signs. Zaluzhny warns in op-ed. And here it is again. And here it is, right there. In the Telegraph again, from the same thing. The most likely outcome of Russia's war against Ukraine is a long-term freeze of hostilities. You think so? Oh my God. The Russians will never agree to that. I explained you about Svetlana. Do you remember my story, my favorite story with Svetlana? So you have, Sergei Bubka, Ukrainian, pumping on Svetlana. And they're somewhere out upstairs. And and outside you see, the Ukrainians with some Americans, with some Brits, and they make noise. And they bring the little, ready to come on your porch. And this guy, while he's pumping and dumping, he calls those guys, I'm busy, get the fuck out, man. And they keep coming closer and closer. So this guy eventually pulls out, comes out, and smack those guys. Do you think that this guy, he wants to go back to Svetlana, remember? That's his own thing. Just let me be, man. And those guys, do you think he just wants to send them a little bit, freeze it, so when he comes back here, the guys make noise again, so he has to come back again? And again, out of Svetlana and figure things out? No, he's going to do it once. And this is Russia's once. This guy talks about freezing the war. What do you mean? Do you think that the guy is going to open the door and say, hey, you, beat it, hey, whoosh, and then go back, and then guys come back? No, the Russians ain't like that. But again, this is just an ambassador. That's his opinion. All right, next one. Now you find out why Mr. Zaluzhny is talking. According to Ukrainska Pravda, Ukraine's elections timeline discussed at talks in Florida, according to Wall Street Journal. And you have here a Ukrainian, an American, another American over there, and another Ukrainian over here. Those guys are deciding, okay? So you got it? So they discussed the elections, the timeline. Therefore, the election cycle the campaign started for Mr. Zaluzhny. And we find out that Putin war machine is not only oil and gas, it's gold, okay? Here, 3 gold pieces. According to the Telegraph, the same liars. Gold is fueling Putin's war machine and keeping Russia afloat. Yeah, I like it. See these faces? Yeah. Or this guy's like, is that real gold? I want to have that. I really want to have that. Okay, so what's going on here? Facing sanctions, soaring inflation, and labor shortages, Russia is relying on one of the oldest and most stable commodities to shore up its wartime economy. That means they plan ahead. That means they're smart. So what's going on here? Let me show you. This is gold. This is gold since they started the charts in 1996. 2024, you see where 24, you see here? This is where we are right now. 4,086. It's even more than that, just so you know. It's 4,223 per ounce of gold. This is it. And an ounce is like this. Pick a little thing, I will show you. I don't have it. Mine is buried in Alaska. All right, so here it is, my friends. And you look over here where this chart is. Let me just get my melon out. Papa. Okay, so we have here. You see here where the thing started is when? It is in January 2024, right there. Stable. Here, this was August 2020, right here, August 2020. This is August 18, right there. You can look what happened with the gold. Zip, zoop. Now, this is the new value of the gold right now, $2,244 per ounce. How much is that? They're talking about this kind of gold bars right here. Pump, whatever this is, pump Swiss. So this is the gold, 99%, zappa, this is 10 ounce, but I'm talking about 1 ounce. This is 10 ounce. I don't know if they got a 5 ounce. Right there, 1 ounce gold bar. This is what I'm talking about. Come on, baby doll. These are the ones that are that price, right there. You see, pump Swiss. This is $4,270 dollars. Why? Well, what prevents the Americans and the Westerners with the capitalism to have gold? I tell you, because they're speculating on the stock market. They have inside trading. That's a monopoly thing, and that's the way it is. And the real economy is outside of these guys' monopoly game, or how do you call it, casino game of stock market. Stock market has usually on average, I think, S&P 500 and so on, I think 6% up on average yield. This is what you got. Gold on the other hand, if you look at these guys, let me go back to the chart. I'm going to have a class now on on gold. All right, where's the gold? Gold. Let's make it forever, as we had it before. Right there. You see, if you just take year to year, so let's say right now we are in November 20. It's almost December 1st, and we go down here into January. It was 2,700, 2,600 right here. November it was 2,600, and right now it's 4,260. Almost 50%. I'm sorry. Almost 90% jump from 2,600, and right now it's 4,200. Almost 100% jump. Gold stock market. And why is that? Because the investors are uncertain with the world economy in the West, all right, mainly because these guys are bombarding Iran, attacking Venezuela, striking in Ukraine, and so on. And gold is gold right there. There you go. So, yeah, what are you going to do now? The only thing you can do is say gold means nothing. But you can't do that because gold is not only by convention valuable. It has value. You can use it. All right? That's the thing with the gold. People say, what's going on with the gold? Gold, you can leave it over there. It's not going to be rusting. It's not going to lose its property. It's going to be there forever. It's a fantastic metal. Right? Right. So yeah, this is Putin's retreat gold. So what are you going to do about it? You already screwed up. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Remember, Zaluzhny wants nuclear weapons and NATO inside Ukraine. Wait, I will make more videos on Zaluzhny because Zaluzhny is going to be pushed for the elections. I don't know. We'll see if the other Jew, what's his name, Klitschko, Vitaly Klitschko, he's Jewish. I didn't know that. His mom is Jewish. A friend of mine notified me on Facebook. He said, well, Emily, you want to look at this one? I was like, let me verify. And indeed, nothing wrong with that, but that explains many things, which is why Zelensky did not hang Klitschko yet. Thank you very much for being with me again today. But Zaluzhny was taken away, so he cannot do. Vitaly Klitschko, no. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.